I'd like to call the meeting to order. Brad, get a roll, please.
Opperly.
Here.
Barton.
Here.
Butterfield.
Here.
Hamback.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Spar.
Here.
Warren.
Here. Everybody's had a chance to look at last month's minutes. There's no amendments, so I hear a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from last month.
I'll second it.
Barton.
Yes.
A voice roll. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same.
Okay, before we start, Mr. McGrath is going to read a short little statement.
Thank you. Public hearings are being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to address the zoning board will be sworn in by our court reporter and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Zoning Board of Appeals will make its determination. 4 yes votes are required to obtain approval. For variation, the zoning board's task is to determine whether an applicant meets certain legal requirements. The Zoning Board of Appeals cannot grant a variance unless it finds the evidence presented before it proves those criteria set forth in the Village Code and Illinois law, including finding that because of particular surroundings, shape, or topographical condition of the specific property involved, a particular hardship to the owner would result, as distinguished from a mere inconvenience if the strict letter of the regulations were to be carried out. The conditions upon which a variance is based are unique to the property for which the variance is sought and not generally applicable to other property within the same zoning classification. That the variance is not based exclusively upon a desire for financial gain, that the difficulty has not been created by a person presently having an interest in the property, that the granting the variance will not be detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to other property or improvements in the neighborhood, and that the proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property, substantially increase the congestion of public streets, increase the danger of fire, endanger the public safety, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. Unless the zoning board finds that all these criteria are met, the variance cannot by law be granted.
Thanks, Pat. Okay, first case tonight is case 1704. Dan Neves requesting a variance for an 8-foot tall privacy fence on the south property line as shown in attached drawing. Current village ordinance only allows for a fence 6 feet tall. Dan, could you just step up and give your name, address, and summary of what transpired here? Oh, I'm sorry.
You sound sworn for and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
So I don't even know where I've been, to be honest with you here. So I went to the Plan Commission and they recommended that I do an 8-foot fence. So that's why I'm here. Is that correct?
So the planning commission recommended to the city council, or is that just
The Plan
come right to
Commission,
us?
upon his request for special use for this outdoor storage area, the Plan Commission can put conditions on it, much like you guys here can do. And their recommendation was that they grant him the special use or make a favorable recommendation to the village board if he puts the 8-foot tall fence up. So that was the condition that was then forwarded to the village board, and they approved that special use subject to this 8-foot fence.
Okay.
The special use was to allow outdoor storage.
Right, outdoor storage.
Where's this behind your?
It would extend it along the south,
The railroad prop?
Railroad.
bring it more towards Detroit, and then put a fence,
Okay.
or excuse me, a gate.
So is everything coming off the grass then? The cars and stuff, all that's?
The fence would come, it goes to right here now, and it'd go to about here, and then there'd be a gate coming across.
Okay. And then, are there any cars along that, or is that part of the new deal with getting all that off the grass?
Everything has to get off the grass, and there shouldn't be anything outside that fenced-in area that's not a car for sale on his car lot.
Okay.
In other words, no fenders or doors or hoods or frames or whatever.
Does anybody on the board have any questions? Does anybody in the audience want to comment? With that, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant case number 17-0400, 1010-2C as stated.
Second.
Butterfield.
Yes.
Handback.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Spar.
Yes.
Warm.
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Approved.
Have your variance. Now you can put the fence up
After you get the permit.
after you get a permit. Okay, our next case, number 17-06, Bill Weeb is requesting a variance for expansion of a non-conforming building at 25775 Harding Road. Petitioner seeks a variance for an ordinance number 7831 relative to the expansion of an existing non-conforming structure. Bill, you want to stand up and have Arlene swear you in?
Raise your hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Okay, what I want to do is, I have an existing building, 45 by 90. I'm just going to extend it straight on out to the east
You're gonna
into the
have to-
field.
You're gonna have to speak up.
Yeah, speak right in
Oh,
that
I'm-
mic
okay.
and then
Oh,
we
I'm
can.
sorry.
That's
I
right.
just want to extend it straight out into the field. It's going to be the same size as the one is now. It's a storage building, going to have 5 units in it. The guys that are there now, one rents 2 and one rents 3, so I don't know how many tenants there could be, up to 5 or in any amount up to that. Let's see, the neighbors behind me, there's storage buildings behind me, warehouse. They're not like that, but they're a warehouse type situation. And that's basically about it.
Because when he built this, it was legal and then.
It was county back
Yeah.
then.
I would have fired your council and annexed it.
You what?
Whoever told you to annex it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see a problem. Does anybody else have any question?
No.
Anybody in the audience? Only 2 of you. 3 of you. Okay, Brad, I'll take roll then, please. Or a motion first.
Motion. Mr. Chairman, could I recommend that we approve the case number 1706 as stated. Make a motion.
Second.
Handback.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Spar.
Yes.
Warm.
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Butterfield.
Yes.
Get a permit tomorrow and probably start. Thanks, Bill. Okay, our last case tonight is number 1707, Lighthouse Properties of Illinois LLC is requesting a variance for parking lot at 412 Bauman Avenue, Zone B2. A petition has been filed to rezone this property to B3 and will be heard following this meeting. The required side and rear setback is 7'5". A variance of 2.5 will result in a setback of 5 feet. Petitioner seeks the variance from ordinance number 78-31 relative to setbacks. Mark, you want to step up and...
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm Bart Rinkenberger. I'm here on behalf of Jeff Grimm, who owns the property. Couldn't be here tonight. And so I appreciate how you've helped us in the past in these areas. And as you can see, we're tearing down a house and continuing a parking lot. And with your permission, we'll keep going.
So are you tearing down 412?
Is that right, Roger?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Owned by Wells.
Yeah. The other part of this equation is, after tonight, the zoning board of appeals, he'll be at the plan commission meeting asking to rezone the property at 412 from B2, which it currently is, to B3 with the special use to continue the auto sales operation.
Mark, I know that the village ordinance is 6 foot for an easement. Have you talked to the engineer about trying to squeeze down to 6 foot from 5 on this at all?
Well, it was originally going to be 2, I believe, and then the change was going to be, I think a whole bunch of our property's already 2. And so then the compromise was made to make this 5, which is way further than everything else.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So where do they have, where's your 2 foot? Where's that, which, is that on the other?
Well, we had one that just a couple months ago on Main Street that was, might have been a little under 2. And I don't know where we were on the other side of the street. I think it's about 2 foot.
Yeah, okay.
On the west side of Bauman,
Okay.
back into the railroad track.
Yeah. And the city's fine with 5 foot as far as what you have to do, or?
Yeah, the reason the 6 foot is nice is that there's utilities that are, whether it be cable or electric or fiber, and there's just, you gotta have some room. But they were willing to take this from the 2 foot, as Bart said, up to the 5, and we'll try to make that work.
Okay.
And I talked to Craig on that as well. Craig Loudermilk wants 6. That would be his preference in this instance. 5's better than 2. 6 is better than 5 for him. And there's some contemplation of changing our ordinance to preserve a 6 foot variant, or preserve a 6 foot utility easement. That's not in our code yet, but that's a code change that is going to be pursued here in the next month or so.
So if there is utility, it will be 6 foot, or is that what they want?
Craig Loudermilk's preference is the 6 foot easement, just because of and I don't want to speak as his representative necessarily, but since he and I spoke, I wanted to make sure I mentioned what he and I talked about. His preference is to maintain a 6 foot strip so that there's sufficient easement for utilities, both thinking about present utilization and what's coming in the future, fiber optics, and making sure there's enough room with all that it goes into our easement for utilities to locate. So,
the other thing that the smaller you get, you have to grade and get water to do what it needs to get it where it needs to go. Well, if you only got 2 foot, it doesn't work very well. You can't hardly grade the elevation to meet your neighbor. So,
Are we talking in something as a zone B2 or not?
really, that could be in other cases too. It could be residential properties.
Average goes
Right.
6 foot.
that's, there's a desire for, on Craig's behalf, to present that, and that I anticipate will go to a public hearing to create a preserved 6 foot in all zoning districts, to basically remove the ability to obtain a variance that would allow a setback of less than 6 feet.
Now, like in the old R1, like where I live, then instead of 5.3, it's gonna be 6 foot.
Yeah, and then there might be some cases where there's already garages that are a foot off the line or whatever. We'll have to.
And we won't be, the contemplation, and that's for another day, but
Right.
it's relevant because you have a setback request of less than 6 feet. All we are contemplating doing is taking away the ability to obtain a variance for less than the applicable setback. So it wouldn't change the setback in your zoning district, but would rather take away your ability to request a setback, a variance to reduce the setback allowed by code to less than 6 feet.
Okay.
So you could build to
Yeah.
the setback in your district, but if you wanted a 2 foot, you couldn't do that.
You wanna take our power away. I'm fine with 5. I mean, until they change it, I'm fine with 5. I don't think that's gonna hurt anybody there. As far as what I can see, it's not like it does have a lot of water.
Yeah, I think you might lose a row of parking if you push it, so.
With that, does anybody have any other questions? Hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve case number 1707 under 1010-2C as stated.
Second.
Jones.
Yes.
Spar.
Yes.
Warham.
Yes.
Opperly.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Butterfield.
Yes.
Handback.
Yes.
Approved.
Thanks, everyone.
Approved. Thanks, Bart. Roger?
Nothing tonight?
Brad?
Like a voice roll to adjourn, is that what you're going after? I don't have anything.
Okay, all right, well, let's do a motion. Have this,
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Voice roll, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.